Coming up on AgweekTV, President Biden visits Minnesota to highlight $5 billion in programs to boost rural America. Some farmers on Minnesota's White Earth Reservation are bracing for a court battle over water permits. In a special report, we'll look at resources for farmers struggling with mental health. And a rural community comes together to save their local restaurant. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. President Biden is sending another $5 billion to help rural economy and protect farms. He came to Brad Kluver Family Farm in southern Minnesota on Wednesday to outline his plan. During his stop in Northfield, President Biden said a large portion of the funding will go towards creating programs and incentives for conservation and climate-smart agriculture.
For decades, families like Brad sat around the kitchen table with their kids and grandkids worried and wondering, how can we keep the farm in the family? Because of these investments we're making, family farms like this one will stay in the family, and the children and grandchildren like Brad won't have to leave home to make a living.
Kluver, who raises soybeans, corn, and hogs, praised President Biden for his efforts towards creating a stronger and more sustainable ag industry during the president's visit to his farm.
He has incentivized family farms like ours to innovate and adapt the way we farm to be more efficient and environmentally friendly while also expanding markets.
U.S. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack was with the president in Minnesota, and he says farmers are especially interested in funding for conservation programs. The U.S. Justice Department is working with the Minnesota Attorney General on antitrust enforcement in the state. Jonathan Cantor, an Assistant Attorney General in the Justice Department's Antitrust Division, came to an antitrust symposium in Cannon Falls, Minnesota. He also met with the Attorney General's office on how they can work together on antitrust enforcement at the state and federal level. Cantor also met with people across the state affected by corporate concentration in farming. This stop was at the Cherry Valley Farm in Cannon Falls, where Cantor learned how corporate monopolies affect small farms in rural areas.
And so we discussed at a very fundamental, foundational level how these issues impact the lives of so many people in so many different ways.
The Minnesota Farmers Union will push for antitrust reforms in the 2024 legislative session, designed to improve and update the state's antitrust laws to better protect farmers and small businesses. Some farmers on Minnesota's White Earth Reservation are at odds with the White Earth Band of Ojibwe over whether they can legally require their own tribal water permits on private land on the reservation. Mikkel Pates has been investigating the situation in a series of reports. This week, he talks to state regulators involved in water permits.
For nearly a century, the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources has decided whether farmers could drill wells or pull water from rivers for irrigation and other farm uses. That includes privately owned land on reservations. But in May, White Earth started requiring its own permits. A group of farmers is preparing to challenge whether the White Earth Band can legally require their own tribal permits on private land and even a 5-mile buffer belt around the reservation.
I think the tribe wants to stop all agriculture and regulate all agriculture on and around the reservation.
The attorney for David Vipond, one of the farmers fighting the permits, says that because Vipond owns the land he farms, he is not subject to tribal jurisdiction.
And while he resides and owns property on the reservation, he's not subject to ordinances like the groundwater ordinance that the tribe is imposing here.
State Ag Commissioner Tom Peterson says he shares tribal leaders' concerns about water quality, but he's concerned about a duplicate permit process for farmers.
I've worked with farmers in that area for a long time, and I am concerned about the relationships with the farms and the farmers in the area, many of them that are band members.
The Assistant Commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, Jess Richards, doesn't know what led White Earth to enact their own permits, but he says it doesn't affect DNR permitting decisions.
But it doesn't mean that the DNR isn't going to continue to do our normal process with respect to reviewing, getting input, and making decisions on permits.
This issue promises to be a long and expensive legal battle, and both sides say it could eventually wind up before the United States Supreme Court. On the White Earth Reservation, this is Mikkel Pates for AgWeek.
You can read much more on this controversial issue at agweek.com. Like many Minnesota farmers this year, Adam Johnson has been bouncing back and forth between harvesting his soybean and corn fields. Johnson is one of the farmers we have been following this season in our Follow a Farmer series. Johnson was forced to switch from harvesting soybeans to corn mid-harvest because his soybeans were uneven in maturity. However, Johnson's corn was ready earlier this year due to the hot, dry summer.
We had some uneven emergence this spring from lack of moisture, and we didn't get any rains to help get the beans to come up, so we had some that sprouted a lot later than the others, so we just had spots in the fields where it was really uneven, and we had to wait for them to ripen.
Johnson said corn yields in his area around Alexandria, Minnesota vary from 75 to 225 bushels per acre. Up next on AgweekTV, farming is stressful, but there is help. In this month's special report, we'll look at some of the resources available for physical and mental health.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Bremer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation, so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Grain handling and storage projects done efficient, reliable, and hassle-free. With the one-stop shop of advanced grain handling systems. Get better test weights and less crop damage with their continuous mixed-flow grain dryers from Grain Handler and Nico. Get grain bins built to last from West Steel and Sioux Steel. Advanced Grain customizes each project to maximize your farm production. Contact Advanced Grain Handling Systems in Mayville for a free quote and site consultation.
Staying healthy in rural areas can come with special challenges. Our November Ag Week special report looks at all facets of health and healthcare in rural parts of our region. Agriculture is stressful with long hours, weather, and volatile markets. So Avera Medical Group is working to help those in rural areas relieve the stress both mentally and physically.
Carl Oelke knows firsthand the stress that comes with farming. His family farm has seen it all, from livestock production to crop farming. But Oelke is not just a farmer. He's also a physician's assistant at Avera, who helped develop the Avera Farm and Rural Stress Hotline.
Actually an idea we came up with fall of 2018. Right about that time, myself as a farmer, I was experiencing just my own levels of stress. So I knew if my own levels of stress were high, other producers had to be experiencing the same thing. And we just weren't seeing that demographic in the clinic or the hospital at the time.
This hotline meets ag producers where they are. With just one simple phone call, people are connected with resources to help with mental health or other needs that they are facing.
We're integrated with the 211 helpline. Person called one time looking for help with elder care. They had a death in the family, and how are they going to get that person the care that they needed? During that 2018-2019, during all the flooding, a lot of folks were very, very short of hay. We had folks calling for hay and that type of thing. So we are integrated with farm service agencies, extension agency through SDSU, try to get those folks a number or someone that they can talk to try to get the help that they need.
The goal of the hotline is for producers to know they are not alone. They can seek help in a free, safe, and confidential way.
There's unfortunately still a lot of stigma with mental health, especially in the agricultural realm of the world. So we wanted to make sure that folks knew that there was someone who, could not only help them on the mental health side, but was also familiar with what they were going through.
The hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For anyone in the U.S., you can call the number on your screen or visit avera.org. Minnesota has free help available to farmers and their families, and it's just a phone call away. Monica McConey is one of 2 specialists in the states dedicated to farmers' mental health. Many stressors come from uncontrollable factors like weather or prices, but McConey advises farmers to focus on the present and things they can control, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. She says initially taking care of small things can make a big difference, and she advises farmers to focus on things they can change, starting with getting enough sleep.
There's a lot of other things too, depending, if they're experiencing depression or anxiety. We just kind of work through the helpful strategies to help them feel better.
I think just getting together and having conversations is really a secondary output of these listening sessions. Certainly we are benefiting from learning from folks and hearing about what policy options and opportunities there are. But I think an event like tonight, where you see so many people coming out on a snowy night to just come and talk, is really key.
You can find more resources and contact information at agweek.com. Ahead on AgweekTV, with harvest wrapping up, it's time to start thinking about grain storage.
Dear Dave, thanks for the early order.
Mice are a real problem and get into everything. They leave a scent trail, bringing more mice to the party. Poisons and traps just lure mice in, leaving you with the mess and costly damage. Introducing Mouse Mix, the world's safest and most effective deterrent. The pleasant scent interferes with the mouse's sense of smell. Simply put, they can't stand it. Mouse Mix works 6 months for complete winter storage of campers, cabins, boats, cars, and farm equipment. Mouse Mix, you put it out and the mice leave.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop. You're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota Ag Bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
The story of a farm is the story of a family. From generations past to generations to come, families have raised their children and the crops that sustain our country on the same fields. Today, with a better nitrogen, farmers can continue to take care of what matters most, the land they work and the people they do it with.
So in 2017, RTD developed a thing called Whip Drain, and it is a drainage and aeration platform for many types of stockpiles. Sand or aggregates, sugar beets or potatoes. We can drain the water away from the product, and we can also force air into the platform and aerate the whole bottom of it. We've designed it so you can operate 988 cat loaders. I think they weigh about 140,000 pounds. Whip Drain is engineered to withstand that type of treatment.
Oh my goodness.
Ag Week weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank.
Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
What kind of weather can the region expect as November begins? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Over the next couple of weeks, November chill definitely in the air. We're not seeing any big pushes of warm air up into the northern part of the country again. It's generally much chillier, but we're not seeing the weather transition to really any organized frigid air yet, at least not down into the United States. We had a big snowstorm a couple of weeks ago. I do expect some precipitation into the northern plains and upper Midwest, but not a lot. Mostly what falls in terms of snows and some of it rain will be much lighter than what we've seen for the latter part of October. And there will be some areas of agriculture that will continue to be a little on the dry side. Let's start, of course, with the general weather pattern. Relatively weak split flow pattern setting up this week. Warm weather down around the Gulf Coast and in the Southwest in the usual locations. Little surge of weather into the 70s, getting up as far north as Nebraska today. And this is on the first day on Sunday. And it's still hovering right around freezing in northern North Dakota and over southern parts of Manitoba. That cold weather will kind of hang around the northern plains, northern Rockies, some parts of northern New England. But we're not really seeing a lot of freezing highs across any part of the United States. The split in the pattern will continue. It's trying to ridge up here, but it can't. The northern branch of the jet fairly weak at this juncture, which is one reason why the really cold air, sub-zero type highs, are going to stay way up in the high Arctic this week. Now, as we get toward the end of the week, I do anticipate a little bit of a building up of the southern jet stream ridge, and that will eventually, I think, into the second week here. Now that gets us on toward about the mid part of November. That's going to pull some pretty warm air pretty far north. These will be 70s getting up into Nebraska, and probably getting some 40s and maybe even some 50s into North Dakota and Minnesota right around the mid part of November. Very likely a fleeting thing, and these branches of the jet will likely start pulling cooler weather down into the north central and eastern United States eventually. Precipitation. Well, I do expect some rain turning to snow very early in the period. That's going to come out here Sunday, Monday into Tuesday. And mostly this, I think, will be a light to moderate type precipitation. There may be a few areas of heavier snows in the Rockies. Southern plains generally pretty dry. The rain's beginning to work down the west coast, but not getting to California yet. And a modest little system will affect the Canadian Maritimes and New England. For the second week of the period, most of the Great Plains look pretty dry, little precipitation in the eastern Corn Belt, and a little snow coming out of the Rockies, most of it staying in Canada.
Grain handling and storage projects done efficient, reliable, and hassle-free. With the one-stop shop of advanced grain handling systems. Get better test weights and less crop damage with their continuous mixed-flow grain dryers from Grain Handler and Nico. Get grain bins built to last from West Steel and Sioux Steel. Advanced Grain customizes each project to maximize your farm production. Contact Advanced Grain Handling Systems in Mayville for a free quote and site consultation.
Risk management is not just for the grains. Livestock producers, did you know you too can protect the price for your production? Livestock Risk Protection, or LRP for short, is a great tool to help you protect the price of your calves. Cattle producers can also protect their pasture and hayland from lack of rainfall with Pasture Rangeland Forage, or PRF insurance. This is a very affordable way to help producers in times of below average rainfall. Call the Risk Management Specialist, Martinson Ag Risk Management.
It was October 1st, 2009. We needed some machinery for the farm. We decided to see if we could become a dealer, and that's kind of grown into what it's been today.
We offer basically anything short line. Seed tenders, fertilizer spreaders, sprayers. We can really set ourselves apart by the knowledge we have in those things, by the amount of units we have on hand at all times.
I just have a passion for helping people, getting to know people. It just becomes a lot of fun.
Some
things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
With harvest season wrapping up soon, it's time for farmers to start thinking about their grain storage system. I met with Chad Kylo, owner of Advanced Grain Handling, and Mike Stola, a farmer who recently put up a grain system with Advanced Grain Handling Systems. When Mark Stola was on the hunt for a grain system, he knew he wanted a place that did it all. That's why he chose Advanced Grain Handling Systems.
It's been really smooth, really easy. It's been nice to be able to just call over there if I have troubles with the bin or the dryer or the electrical side of it. Able to just call over there and they get someone out here really quick. I don't have to try to hunt down 3 different companies.
Chad Kylo, owner of Advanced Grain Handling System, takes pride in being a one-stop shop for all your grain handling needs. From the dirt work to the electric work to putting the bins up, they do it all.
With the farmers, they can set their own destiny during harvest if they have their own grain site. They're not waiting for the elevators, they're not waiting all that. They can dry the grain themselves, they can store it, play the market. There's all sorts of different areas where these sites pay themselves back pretty quick.
Stola incorporated natural gas into his dryer setup. He has been blown away by the simplicity of it, but the switch to natural gas has also given him peace of mind.
I just turn a valve on and I go. I don't have to worry about getting propane here. It's easy just to turn a valve on and not worry about a tank running empty in the middle of the night. Safety-wise, I feel it's a lot safer as well.
For Stola, choosing to work with Advanced Grain Handling System was the right choice.
100% go with them. They've been that good to work with. I would recommend Advanced Grain Handling Systems.
Kylo advises farmers who are interested in having a new grain storage system for next harvest start the planning process immediately. For more information about Advanced Grain Handling Systems, please call the number or visit the website on your screen. Up next on AgweekTV, a small town reopens its only restaurant.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Hi, Bill Kelsey here, Geringhoff Territory Manager, covering northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. At Geringhoff, we offer a full line of the best harvest headers and residue management systems on the market.
Contact me today to discuss your farm's needs. From there, I'll connect you with an authorized Geringhoff dealer.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
Getting down to business on the farm means hitting the office early, making sure your team's ready to go, getting updates from the field, and talking with your management team. At Bremer Bank, we understand the business of farming and how to protect and grow your operation so you can be sure your present and your future are in good hands.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
It's a tough blow when a small rural community loses a business, especially a restaurant. In December, we told you about the blow to Fullerton, North Dakota, when its only restaurant, the Ranch House, closed. But as Jeff Beach found, it's open again under new management.
This is what the Lord told me I was to do, was cook. And there you go.
Tony Melendez has been running the Family Way restaurant in Fullerton, North Dakota with his partner, Sherry Mattis, since April. It had closed in December, leaving the small town and surrounding area without a gathering spot for food and fellowship.
Every place needs a place to eat. They need somewhere to go, to socialize, to kick back, to enjoy a meal, and you want to give them a good deal.
Melendez is the cook, Mattis is the server and baker.
We get good service and good food. We're pretty happy.
The community of about 60 people owns the business, which was known as the Ranch House. A board oversees its operation, and board member Jerry Kelsch says they were happy to find an experienced cook and restaurant worker living just 20 miles away.
It would be difficult to be without something in town, I'll be honest with you.
Although he's only been here a few months, Melendez says he has plans to buy the business from the community and expand it.
Oh, I will be dying here. This is where it ends. This is my last hurrah. You know, I've been in this business now for 44 years. This is what I do.
In addition to restaurant meals, the Family Way serves the senior meals each day, so it's an important place for the community.
Place to gather. This is the only place unless we go to somebody's house. So. And we built it for a community center, and that's what we hope to stay as.
In Fullerton, North Dakota, this is Jeff Beach for AgWeek.
The restaurant is closed Monday and Tuesday nights. Bull sale season is right around the corner, and this year AgWeek is showcasing the genetics the region has to offer and much more in our AgWeek Bull Sale Guide. The guide features beef cattle health and nutrition information along with ag industry news and education. The AgWeek Bull Sale Guide will be distributed to more than 50,000 beef producers across 7 states, making it a premier advertising opportunity to grow your ag business. The AgWeek Bull Sale Guide will get your business in front of a targeted audience in the months to come. Book your ad by December 1st to be included in this January publication. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. A Minnesota school district has made big strides in offering local foods, and a North Dakota college trains the next generation of custom applicators. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.